Hey everyone, it is LSID932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Love is Blind Argentina. This is episode 10. We're getting to last dates and weddings. I know you're excited as I am, but please take a moment to like the video, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. Let me know that you are liking this content. Thank you all of those who have left me comments. Special thanks to those from Argentina or Argentinian heritage. That is kind of like teaching me about the culture one comment at a time. And I'm really enjoying it. Let me know if you want me to do a live maybe after the end of the reunion, because that'll be next week. But please just take a moment. Let me know you like. Hit that like button. And let's get to it because, whoo, last dates. And we already were at the altar, though, for Florencia and Jose Luis. So he reads her a letter, okay? And I'm like, they kind of have him read a letter before he says, I do or I don't. So it's like, do you, Jose Luis, take Florencia? And he's like, hold on, let me read her a letter. I understand why he did it, because of the whole letter with Julieta thing, but that's another story for another day. Previous review, actually. And he just, read the letter and ended the letter with, however, I love all these things about you, however, and the suspense was just absolutely slaying me. And then he says, yes, I do. And she was just smiling. She said he gave her a beautiful love story. And she said no. Florencia actually says, no, I cannot imagine a life without you. And said she owed him for stopping her heart earlier. I didn't like this. I like the fact they got married, but I did not like the no, I cannot imagine living without you. I didn't like that because he looked like he was about to faint. Though I get it, it's for the show, it's for the ratings, I get it, but Florencia, not the time, especially when you finally got your letter. Okay? So Florencia and Jose Luis are married. Hear, hear for the new couple. Last dates for Julieta and Ezekiel, they go go-kart racing. I love go-kart racing. And he says, what don't you like about me? And I'm like, dude, why are we asking this the day before the wedding? What don't you like about me? She said that he gets obsessed easily and blows things out of proportion. He said he likes to talk things out while she avoids it. There's a distinct difference. I was like, ooh, Ezekiel, this is why I really, really like you. He's like, hey, I ain't blowing it out of proportion. I just want to talk about it. Julieta, says she can be stubborn, but it depends on how they approach the issue. But it seems based on how he's saying, you don't want to approach the issue at all. Julieta said, you are a great man and I can see a future together. She does express that she loves him, and it was a beautiful moment. I did like the go-kart racing date. Mauricio and Maria Amelia, they go to a Japanese restaurant. When I tell you those drinks look fantastic, the drinks were a work of art. They had to light, I think, the sage or some of the herbs that was sticking up the top of the glass. I was like, oh, yes, this is my speed. They also had like a mini lazy river at the table, and the plates were coming down to them from this lazy river in front of them at the counter. We see them rolling the sushi. It was beautiful. It was a wonderful last date, I think. So he worries that, that there needs to be no rush. He's like, I'm worried about this, she's worried about this, but there's no rush. He says there's a limit to compromises that they can make because they are 40. Ooh, Mauricio, that is not looking like you ready to compromise in marriage, sir. I'm sorry. Maria Amelia says she shares her concern that, how change over time may look. And says, we stuck it out in the pods. We are communicating exactly as we said in the pods. And she does like that. He said they are both loving and adapting to each other. The last date, apparently we had another last date. Now, they took us through weddings and then took us back to this last date. But I'm not going to do that. We have a last date with Santiago and Emily. Because last time we saw, Santiago said, I told the producers I'm ready. I'm packed up. I'm heading out. They have a rooftop dinner. Beautiful. Santiago says, he's been feeling the distance between them. You packed your bag, Santiago. You were going to put distance between y'all. So feeling the distance, it's there. It's there. He says they are not compatible in how they express themselves. He admits he has a short fuse, and they both didn't imagine they would get this far in the process. Santiago, that short fuse, I hope it ain't lit up like the drinks for Mauricio and Maria Emilia. Now we have the wedding days. Yay! We already have Florencia and Jose Luis are married. So now the rest of the wedding days. Julieta and Ezekiel. Julieta loves her dress. It is quite simple. She said it's what she wanted, and she's nervous. She looked beautiful. The designer? You designed and gave her the dress she wanted. It was beautiful. Ezekiel, brother arrives. The brother say their parents support him. Said Ezekiel couldn't stay alone forever. But Ezekiel did not tell his parents the whole of it because of the exposure and the cameras. And I understand that. Sometimes you want to keep your family private. They didn't sign up for the show after all. So apparently Ava is a guest at their wedding. And I was like, oh, look at Ava. Julieta has her friend walk her down the aisle. And I was like, no bouquet? I didn't see a bouquet for Florencia and neither for Julieta. Is that a tradition with Argentina? There is no bouquet? Interesting. No walking down the aisle with a bouquet. So let's cut to the chase. They asked Julieta first, and I was like, oh no, y'all should have asked Ezekiel first. They asked her first, and she said, yes, I do. Ezekiel says, I do. So we have another couple that has gotten married, Julieta and Ezekiel. And this is my personal favorite couple, so I'm happy. We can kind of end the show now, but we're not. We've got a couple more couples to go through. So one thing about the weddings, I'm going through the whole wedding because they kind of go back and forth from wedding to celebration. They cut the top of the cake. Now here in the USA, Western side of things, we kind of leave the top of the cake untouched. We freeze it. And on the first anniversary, and some people every anniversary, they thaw it out and they enjoy a slice of the cake until it's complete. So it was interesting that the top of the cake was not saved, but we are in Argentina, totally different culture and customs. So she said she arrived today totally in love, and that made her yes very easy. He says this is the first time he is truly connected with someone. And congratulations, Julieta and Ezekiel. Y'all were my favorite couple. Really, I'm rooting for you guys, as would everyone. But y'all were my personal favorite. I'm so glad to see y'all said yes. We have Maria Emilia and Mauricio. She said she always dreamed of this day. And I finally looked at her dress again. And based on his comments about how she dresses, what will he think of her dress? What will Mauricio think of her dress? And if he thinks ill of the dress, will he say no? Will the dress be enough? Because he said she can't dress. Her mom and sister come and say they're happy for her. They're supporting her. Her brother arrives. He's walking her down the aisle. And I was like, wait a minute. Where's the son? I didn't hear a mention of the son. Maybe it was edited out, but I didn't hear or see note of who in the guest group was her son. So Mauricio says the success of a marriage depends on the couple. His friend who was there with him in his room said that he's been married for 20 years because they share their joys. Mauricio says nothing is guaranteed to stay that long. And I'm like, Mauricio, come on. Yes, y'all are in your 40s. Y'all could be 60 and together. His sisters do arrive. They say they are three siblings and none of them are married. Mauricio, let's see if you are going to change this, because the sisters were like, we ain't looking to get married. This ain't our thing. And, they say it seems soon, but they do support him. It seemed like a night wedding for Mauricio and Maria Amelia, because looking around, it was beautifully lit, but it seemed like very dark atmosphere, but it was beautiful. He said he wrote something before he given an answer. He was asked first. He said his favorite moment is when they fell in love. He does say, I do. Okay, Mauricio. Maria Emilia says, no, I cannot accept him. The crowd was shocked. His sisters, her mother, the host and hostess, everyone was shocked. Maria Emilia said, no, she cannot accept him. They do hold hands. He takes both of her hands. They share a close hug, and he walks away. In the US version, the person who says no is usually the one to walk away. She does look to his family and say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And then she leaves and walks away. In the room, he goes to the, suite. He turns their photo face down. He doesn't even want to see a photo of them together when they were happy. I was like, Mauricio, take a moment. Have a sip of water. Golly. Maria Emilia says it is painful, but it's for the best. She needs a partner who listens, values her, and loves her inside and out. That's it, Maria Emilia. I was worried about you, girl. I thought you were going to say yes. But I'm glad to see you didn't, but that's just my personal opinion. Mauricio said he would have given it a try, but he will accept her decision. But she has to live with this choice for the rest of her life. I was like, dude, bow out gracefully. But don't bow out and say she got to live with it. You got to live with it too. Come on now. I appreciate the fact that you were going to give it a shot, but I don't know. I don't know you, but I don't know if it was going to be a long marriage. I'm sorry. It seemed you didn't like how she dressed. You didn't like what she was eating. It seemed a lot about her you did not like. So Emily and Santiago, they do make it to their wedding. Her mom comes and says, don't settle for anything less. Mutual compromise is okay in a marriage, but don't compromise all of your values. Santiago's with his friends. They ask if he's sure about this, but they support him. His dad was able to make it. I was so happy for Santiago. His dad, who's had some health issues, as we saw with previous episodes. His dad was able to be there at the wedding, and I think that was awesome. And I was looking and say, Emily, Santiago, Dad made it here through his health struggles. Y'all better put on a wedding. So, I do have a question. The altar area, I have a lot of questions for everybody from Argentina, and there's more coming. The altar area was lined with carpeting. They're in a grassy area for Emily and Santiago. It was lined with carpeting. There were antique tables. Now, next to the altar table on Santiago's side, there's a little table with 2 glasses of water. And I wondered if that was ceremonial, if that meant something, or is that just in case they get parched? I didn't think that was the case, but I was wondering, why are there 2 glasses of water on a separate table on the side? So if you're from Argentina, if you know Argentinian custom, let me know. Let me know exactly what that was for the ceremony. Emily, when asked, she says, I do. I was shocked. So looking at Santiago, I was like, oh, okay, maybe Santiago's a no. Because with the constant arguing and the short fusing of it all, I'm thinking, y'all ain't get married. So as I said, Emily says, yes, I do. And Santiago pauses and then says, of course I do. So we have another married couple, Santiago and Emily. He actually lifts her up and carries her down the aisle. It was so joyous to see. I was so happy for them in that happy moment. I'm just concerned when all the happiness kind of simmers down and we are back to normal living. That is where I'm kind of like, are they going to do better without the cameras around? So one of the last things, we see all of them enjoying. We see Emily throwing the bouquet, as we do here traditionally as well. But Florencia's friends do something a little different, at least different to me. Florencia's friends pull strings out of a cake. They're all holding a string that's inside the cake, and once you pull it, you will pull out a ring. Now, I had to look this up. I had no idea this was a tradition for weddings. I've seen this done for other celebrations, but they say a cake pull is a fun tradition that involves single friends of the bride finding out their fortunes from charms attached to the wedding cake. The cake pull charms are placed on ribbons and carefully slotted underneath the cake. So apparently this is done. It's a Peruvian custom. It is also a custom in New Orleans. Usually know it around Mardi Gras, but it is called a cake pull or sometimes called a ribbon pull. But it is sometimes done instead of a bouquet toss. So I'm like, wow, this is interesting, because the friend who pulled, she found a gold ring, and I didn't get to see if anybody else had other charms, because they say different charms are pulled, which was quite interesting. So I learned something at Florencia's wedding that I was quite intrigued with. So thank you so much for joining me. Let's recap this all together. So we have Jose Luis and Florencia. They both said yes, they are a wedded couple. We have Julieta and Ezekiel. They both said yes, they are a wedded couple. We have Santiago and Emily, both saying yes again, and they are a wedded couple. We have Mauricio saying yes, but Maria Emilia saying no. So I don't think it's that bad. Out of the 4 that made it to weddings, we have 3 wedded couples. I think that's pretty good, Argentina. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Argentina, for sharing your culture with us through this show. And I hope you will take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. And please join me. I guess next week we have the reunion. Let's see out of these couples who is still married after, I guess, a year has passed by. I'm guessing. But thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Please continue to be kind to each other and yourselves. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.